Bali is one of those destinations that so many Aussies love going to. Me personally, I go there almost every single year. It's so easy to get to. There's pretty much direct flights from every major Australian city directly to Bali. And to top things off, Qantas make it extremely easy for you to use your Qantas points on booking Bali flights. In fact, when I was brand new to frequent flyer points, my first redemption was on a Bali flight from Brisbane to Bali, and in today's video I'm going to go through all the nitty-gritty details. So if you are considering using your Qantas points to fly to Bali, I'm going to show you the redemption value that you're going to unlock. I'm going to compare that to some other different routes so you can understand if it's worth using your Qantas points on this particular flight. I'm then going to show you how you can find the business class reward seats very quickly as opposed to manually scanning the Qantas website. I'm also going to show you the specific flight that you should be using your points on, because not all business class flights to Bali are the same. There's a very important difference for flights from Brisbane, Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth compared to the Sydney flight. Even from Sydney, there are a particular flight that you're looking for if you want the best business class seat available. I'm going to clear all that up in today's video, but before I get into it, if these videos are helpful to you, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and also if you left a comment letting me know. With that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. First thing I wanted to show you is the redemption value. So for this example, let's just go Sydney to Bali, and if I click on this little calendar tool here, you can see it's showing me all these little red ribbons here, all of the classic reward availability. I'll just click on any date with a little red ribbon here. To get those red ribbons, just ensure that rewards is ticked. This video will be talking about business class. This whole channel is all about how you can book business class for hundreds of dollars as opposed to thousands of dollars. So pretty much in all of the videos I talk about, it's all about business or first class flights. So all that looks good there. I can click on search flights. Now once this data has loaded here, if you want to figure out the redemption value that you're going to be unlocking when you use your points on these sort of flights, click on all flights here. After you've clicked on all flights, you will be able to see how much you can book that flight for with cash. You'll also be able to see how much it is if you were to book that flight with points, and you've got the $322 in taxes as well. Now something very important to pay attention to is going to be checking the type of aircraft that is flying on this particular route. The type of aircraft that you want to look for is going to be the Airbus A330. If I click on this seat map here and click on just one of these seat maps here, you can see this is the sort of business class cabin that we are after. You've got a one seat here with direct aisle access, and these two in the middle also have direct aisle access. If I go back and check out the other seat maps, just ensuring that they're all this sort of layout, this is the type of business class layout that we want. We don't want the older style. Some of the other aircrafts don't have this seat configuration. This seat configuration is the lie flat business class seats. If you don't have this sort of seat map, there's a very high chance you're going to have more of that premium economy style business class cabin, which is pretty much just a wider seat with a slightly more recline. It's really not ideal considering you're going to be paying roughly the same amount of Qantas points to book this type of business class compared to that more premium economy style of business class. So now that we understand the type of aircraft that we need to book, the A330, which is mainly going to be on the Sydney to Bali route on Qantas flights. Now that we know this is ideal, the next thing we need to figure out is if this is actually worth using our points on. So to figure out the redemption value, what we're going to do is $16.52, which is the price that you would usually pay if you were to pay with cash, and we minus the flight taxes here, so $322. This will give us the net amount that we are using. So now we divide that net amount divided by the amount of points that we are using on this flight, which is going to give us our cost per point, which is going to give us the amount of value we are unlocking per point. So for this example, the result is 0.019. This means 1.9 cents per point. For every point that we use, we're going to unlock 1.9 cents of value. Now to figure out if this is going to be worthwhile for you, there are a couple of things that you need to consider. The very first thing that you need to consider is how much it's costing you to acquire those points. How did you earn those points? Did you sign up to a credit card where the annual fee was $300 and you were really disciplined, so maybe it only cost you $300 out of pocket in order to earn these points required to book this flight? Or were you using an app like Snip where you were paying a surcharge of about 1.29% in order to earn 1 point? Did you unlock them with gift cards? Just figure out how you earned the points that you are going to be using on this flight, and then figure out how much it cost you to earn those points. If it cost you less to earn those points, so less than 1.9 cents per point, then it may be worthwhile to use them on this particular flight. The other thing we need to consider is, do you have future travel plans that you could possibly use these points on instead of this particular flight that will give you a much greater value compared to using them on this flight? What I mean by that is, if you use your points on this particular flight, are you going to have enough points to book future trips down the track where you may have a better value compared to this particular flight? 1.9 cents per point is a very, very low redemption rate. And unless you have an excessive amount of Qantas points, or you have a system in place that's going to consistently earn you new Qantas points, so future trips are not going to be impacted when you book this flight, then I would consider not using your points because this redemption value is so low. If earning points is not a problem and you have an abundance of points and it's costing you less to earn those points than what you're redeeming them at, then go ahead, book this sort of flight. But in my opinion, for most people who struggle to consistently earn Qantas points, you're probably better off just paying cash if you are dead set on flying there in business class. Now, to give you an idea of redemption values for some other flights, which will just get you thinking about if you should save these points and use them for future trips, which are going to give you much better redemption value, I'm going to show you Sydney to Los Angeles. I'm going to find a classic reward rate here, and I'm going to run through the redemption value here, just so you can compare that to what you would get with Bali flights. So here we're going to work out the redemption value that you would get from Sydney to Los Angeles if you were going to save your points for future travels. Perhaps you were going to Los Angeles down the track. Let's figure out what the redemption value would be on this flight. So for this flight, we would do $9,227 minus the $641 that you have in the flight taxes here. This is giving us a net of $8,586. Divide that by 130,100 points will give us a value of 6.5. This means for every point that we redeem on this flight, we're getting 6.5 cents worth of value. If we compare that to the Bali flight that we just looked at, where you're getting 1.9 cents worth of value, that is about a third of the value that you're getting if you were to save them and put them on these Sydney to Los Angeles sort of flights. Now, I hope this gets you thinking. If you do go ahead and use your points on these Bali flights, you're getting very low redemptions. You better have a good system in place where you're constantly earning more frequent flyer points, so you don't have to sacrifice your future travel plans where you could unlock more value for those points. Now, if you do need help with a system, I can teach you my exact system. Check out the link in the video description. In there, you'll find my Patreon group. I share with you everything that I know about frequent flyer points. I've got my exact system in there on how I earn over 1 million points every single year. You'll also get direct DM access to me, so if you are stuck with anything, you can go ahead and contact me anytime in Patreon, and I'll respond to you and help clear things up for you. So now we understand what sort of aircraft we should be looking for. We should be looking for the A330 Qantas flight, which is going to be out of Sydney, not Melbourne, not Brisbane, not Perth. We've then figured out the redemption value, so we're going to be getting 1.9 cents of value for every point that we use. We've then compared that to other different routes, and we understand that the value we're getting on these flights to Bali is not the best, but if we have a system in place and we have an abundance of points and we still want to use our points to fly business class to Bali, then how do we go about and find reward seats efficiently, quickly, so we don't get frustrated with the Qantas website? Now, usually if you are on the Qantas website, you can just type in your departing city to Bali, and have rewards ticked here, business class ticked, the amount of passengers, and if you click on this little dates calendar, it will show you all these little red ribbons here. This is pretty easy to use, and to be honest, go ahead and click on it. You might get lucky, but in my experience, what I've found, sometimes these little red ribbons here are not results that you want to find. They're going to have results that have stopover flights included. They will still be classic reward flights, but they will have an additional flight. So there will be 2 flights in order to get to Bali compared to just 1 flight what we're after. Another thing that I've found that these little red ribbons sometimes pull up are Jetstar flights. It's a little bit annoying if we're just looking for Qantas flights from Sydney to Bali and we're getting these flights with multiple flights and we're also getting Jetstar flights included. It's just wasting a lot of time. There's a much better way to filter through flights, and that is by using Gyoza flights. So this is Gyoza flights. Gyoza flights for me is an absolute go-to. I love this tool. I use it every single day to run my Patreon group. If you do want to sign up to this, I will leave some discount codes in the video description. You're going to save 50% off when you use my promo codes. Check them out. It's an amazing tool. Pretty much you jump on here, type in where you want to go. You can get more specific than Australia. You can just go like Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, whatever. I'm just going to keep it open to Australia, to Bali. You can choose your dates or your month or whatever you want there. You can also select velocity, but for this example, we're just talking about Qantas. And another very handy feature with Gyoza flights is you can select how many passengers you need as well. Once this data has loaded here, Sydney to Bali, if I just click on one, you can very quickly see what sort of flight it is. It's a Qantas flight, QF, QF, QF. I don't think Gyoza flights actually have Jetstar on this route, which is quite handy because I have searched. So you can see here I've got all of the flights available. I've got all of the dates here, the particular route, how many points, and how many seats are available. So I would just go through this data here and I would find something that I like and then go back to the Qantas website, put in that particular flight, and no more guessing, no more stuffing around. I'm going to know exactly what flight is available on that particular date. You can see here, I'm just going to click through. So there's only 3 pages with direct flights. You can see here there's other pages here with these stopover flights included. These are the flights that I was telling you to avoid just by using the Qantas frequent flyer program. These are the flights that I was telling you will show up if you choose to do your search on that classic search tool on the Qantas frequent flyer page. But when you use Gyoza flights, you can see them here. You can avoid clicking on those dates. You can just search through these direct flights here. So I hope this has cleared things up for you. You should now know exactly if you should be using your points to book business class flights to Bali from Australia. In summary, you're getting very low redemption value when you do use your points on this particular route. But if you do want to go ahead and use your points on this particular route, I've now shown you how you can search and find those flights you're after, and also that you should be focusing your attention on trying to find an A330 business class Qantas flight from Sydney to Bali, as that's going to give you the lie flat business class seats. Now, if you do need any more help and you are frustrated that you can't use your Qantas points or your velocity points to find the business class seats that you want, check out the link in the video description. In there you'll find my Patreon group where every single day I share with my members the very best business class reward seats that they can book with their Qantas points. You can see here just over the last week I've given them flights every single month to Europe using Qantas points, using velocity points. I've given them the best first class flights that they can book. I've given them Christmas holiday flights that they can book with their Qantas points. If that's something that you're interested in, I would love to see you in the Patreon group. Check out the link in the video description. Other than that, I will see you in the next one.